Hi everyone, welcome to Beyond the Court. More than 20 days into free agency, the long minus awaited where will CP3 go? Drama has finally come to an end. According to CP3’s, CP3 has agreed to a deal with the Los Angeles Clippers. Chris Haynes later confirmed it's a 1-year contract worth $3.6 million. In an interview earlier in July, CP3 was asked how much longer he planned to play. He said, "At most one more year." It was the first time this legendary point guard had openly signaled retirement. So unless something unexpected happens, the upcoming 25-26 season will be his last dance. A fitting homecoming to end an incredible career. Over 20 years in the NBA's, CP3 has been through everything: ups and downs, heartbreak and triumph. If we're talking about his best individual years, it's probably during his Hornets or Clippers days. But his highest team achievements came later with the Rockets and Suns. And among those, the Houston chapter is perhaps the most unforgettable. Even though he didn't reach the finals like he did with Phoenix, his Rockets faced one of the greatest teams ever assembled, the 2017-18 Golden State Warriors. That year, alongside James Harden, CP3 led Houston to the Western Conference Finals. They went toe-to-toe with the Warriors for 7 games, and even held a 3-2 series lead, coming within inches of toppling one of the most dominant teams in NBA history. So how good was that 2018 Rockets team? And how heartbreaking was their failure? Many fans believe the 18 Rockets were the toughest opponent the KD Warriors ever faced. But does that belief hold up? Today, let's revisit CP3 and Harden's Uncrowned Kings, the 2018 Houston Rockets. The story really begins a season earlier in 2017. Houston was eliminated by the Spurs 2-4 in the Western semifinals. In the decisive Game 6, at home against a Spurs team missing both Kawhi Leonard and Tony Parker, the Rockets were blown out by 39 points. James Harden shot just to -11, scored 10 points, and turned the ball over 6 times before fouling out. It was another ugly playoff collapse in his record. To be fair, Harden was carrying a massive load. That Rockets squad was a 1-man show. Eric Gordon and Lou Williams were solid but nowhere near Harden's level. He averaged 36 minutes in the regular season and nearly 37 in the playoffs. The front office knew if they wanted to contend, they needed another elite playmaker. And that's where CP3 came in. In the summer of 2017, Houston made a blockbuster 7- for -1 trade with the Clippers. They sent Patrick Beverley, Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell, Sandeka, Kyle Will J.E.O., Darron Hilliard, and DeAndre Liggins, plus a first-round pick and cash to acquire CP3. It was a massive gamble, practically emptying the bench just for one man. But that showed how serious the Rockets were about winning a title. Harden's ball-dominant style was exhausting for both him and the team. Once opponents trapped him, Houston's offense would stall. CP3's arrival was the perfect antidote. He could handle the ball, run the offense, and let Harden focus more on scoring. For the first time, Houston had to squirt brains to keep the offense humming for all 48 minutes. And in 2017-18, CP3 was still elite. His mid-range shot and ability to exploit mismatches were deadly. He also diversified the Rockets' attack, giving them a counterbalance to D'Antoni's extreme 3- or minus layup philosophy. Speaking of D'Antoni, the coach had always been a god whisperer. From Steve Nash to Jeremy Lin, and later Russell Westbrook, his system elevated them all. So pairing him with CP3 and Harden seemed destined for greatness. That season, the Rockets didn't play at breakneck speed like the old 7-second or less Suns. Their pace ranked only 13th in the league, but their offensive rating was no. 1. Welcome to the LA Hall of Fame. And then that rating was also no. 1. They made a record breaking 56 3-pointers, a number that still ranks among the best in NBA history. They finished 65-17, first in the league, ahead of the Warriors and Raptors. D'Antoni managed the rotation, brilliantly keeping Harden at 35 minutes and CP3 at just under 32. He also maximized Derek Gordon, who averaged 18 points per game and finished 2nd and 6th Man of the Year voting. PJ Tucker and Luke Kemba and Out became defensive cornerstones and small ball anchors, while Clint Capela emerged as the perfect role man. Harden won MVP that year, but CP3's influence was immeasurable. He stabilized the team, ran the show, and elevated everyone around him. The Rockets breezed through the first 2 rounds of the playoffs for one over the Timberwolves, then for one over the Jazz. Then came the real test, the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors' Steph, Clay, KD, and Draymond were at their peak. The previous season they had gone 16-1 in the playoffs. But Houston's switch minus heavy defense and deliberate half-minus-4 defense gave them real problems. Tuckerett's enter neutralized Golden State's motion system, while the Rockets slowed the pace and turned the series into a grind. Game 1, KD drops 37 to counter Harden's 41 and the Warriors take. Game 2, Houston strikes back with their depth lineup featuring CP3, Harden, Gordon, Ariza, and Tucker, winning comfortably as CP3 orchestrates the offense. Game 3, Curry erupts for 18 in the third quarter, and Golden State blows out Houston. Game 4, D'Antoni shortens the rotation to just 7 players, CP3, Harden, Ariza, Tucker, Capela, Gordon, and Gerald Green. CP3 goes nuclear, hitting impossible shots over Clay and rallying Houston to even the series. Game 5, the pivotal one, a gritty, defensive slugfest. CP3 scores 20 points with 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, and no turnovers. He and Gordon lead the Rockets to a 3-2 series lead. But late in the fourth quarter, disaster strikes. CP3 pulls his hamstring on a mid-range jumper. He would miss Game 6 and 7. Without him, the Rockets fell apart. Game 6 saw Game 6 Clay at his best. Game 7 became infamous for Houston's 27 straight missed threes. Just like that, their dream season was over. It remains one of the most intense playoff series ever, arguably better than many finals. No other team ever pushed the KD Warriors to 7 games. CP3 had transformed Houston, solving their weaknesses and bringing them closer to a title than ever. But fate had other plans. Fast forward to today, the 2025-26 Clippers now bring together many of those same names. CP3 and Harden are reunited. Kawhi Leonard, who represents both the Spurs that beat Harden in 2017 and the Raptors that dethroned the Warriors in 2019, is here too. Lopez, Beal, Bogdanovich, Collins. It's a reunion of NBA storylines. Ironically, Harden and CP3, who once battled KD's Warriors, now play against KD's Rockets. If this lineup had come together 5 or 6 years ago, fans would be shouting Clippers championship without hesitation. But by April 2026, no one knows how healthy or effective these veterans will be. Can they stay on the court? Can they still perform? Only time will tell. Maybe, just maybe, basketball's gods have written one last script, an old man's redemption arc, like the 2006 Heat or 2011 Mavericks. Maybe CP3 finally gets that elusive ring. Or as some fans joked in our community post, by playoff time, the Clippers might just be throwing together whoever isn't injured. But no matter what happens for longtime fans and believers, this reunion is a final spark of hope. As one saying goes, we can't always guarantee success, but at least we can fight until there's nothing left to regret.